Okay, I got a request for number 3 on the 2008 free response. I'm hoping it's Form A. I can't remember. If not, I'll go over Form B. But I think it's this one because they asked about the mean value theorem. So the idea is when you get this, graph it out. It makes it a little easier to see. Remember, they give you LT, L of T. So when we graph it out, this is 1. I believe this is 1. This is 3. I mean, it stretches a little differently. I numbered it wrong a little bit earlier. So if we can see that, they ask you to, what is the fewest number of times in which L prime of t, or the derivative of L, must equal 0? Give a reason for your answer. Okay, so remember, when we're talking about this piece, we're talking about maximums and minimums. So when you look at this, and we just do the basic trace of this thing, we'll just do a straight line like that, right? So we know that there is at least 3 points between 0 and 9 where it can be equal to 0, right? This one doesn't count because we don't know if it turns. This maximum is up here, and this maximum or minimum is here, and it's here. So if we draw it like that, we know that since this line here is L of t, we're looking for L of prime of t equal to 0. Where are those at? Those are at minimums and maximums. So if those are at minimum and maximums and L prime wants to be equal to 0, that means when it's equal to 0, it's got to go from a positive L prime to a negative L prime. So the slope has to change from a positive to a negative. And then we know it's in between there. We also know that the other one is when it's going to be going from L prime is going from a negative to a positive. And where do we know that's at? Where do we know that's at? Well, that's here. Here's a negative slope. L prime's negative here, L prime's positive here, L prime's positive here, and L prime is negative here. We don't know if it's a curve or whatever it's at, so we know that there's maximum and minimums that occur between 1 and 4, right? So we know that L prime is right there. That's a max, possible max, right? We also know that it can occur between 3 and 7, because we're going from somewhere in there, we're going from a negative slope to a positive slope. It's got to go back up. I mean, it could be down here. We just don't know where. But it's in between. It's going to not be here because this may be it. So it's going to be in between those. And then on this last one, we know it's got 3 possible spots. So you could say, it could be in between 1 and 4 possibility. It could be between 3 and 7 as a possibility. And then there's a possibility of it being between 4 and 9. We just don't know exactly where. So that's what they're asking there. I haven't looked at the answer, but that's kind of the explanation. So if we look at this, they're really wanting to know, well, if it changes slope, L prime changes from positive to negative, we know it is a minimum or maximum there, and that's where L prime is going to equal 0. So that's what we're looking for. So hopefully that helps some of you guys kind of explain that. If not, shoot me a message again, and I'll try to explain it again. But that's what it looks like for number 3 on 2008, Part C specifically. So we're having some sort of an explanation like that. All right, guys. Hope that helped.